3 tips for staying motivated at work. There are days that work at the office can be such a drag that by the moment you go out the office door you'd feel like you've already spent every ounce of your energy. This normally happens to anyone, especially when there's a lot of deadlines to beat, your boss breathing down your neck, and a ton of paperwork. Anyway, you should not be discouraged with these things. This is quite normal, so don't worry. Work basically works, so this normally happens almost every day. However, the difference comes from how you look at things. If you look at it closer, those employees at the bottom of the pecking order normally see work as just work. On the other hand, the CEOs and other higher-ups are somewhat visionaries that see a different side of things that make them the leaders of a company. Earn your way up the food chain by motivating yourself to do better at work. Here are a couple of tips to check out and hopefully motivate yourself. Imagine your accomplishments. Probably the best way to get yourself motivated with work is to think about that sweet moment when you've finished each task assigned to you. It's a very delightful feeling that you have accomplished everything and all the burden and stress on your mind just disappears into thin air. Thinking of that feeling of finishing your tasks will surely enlighten your mood. No matter how boring or tough the task may be, knowing that there's some enlightenment waiting for you at the finish line makes you feel energized, determined, and motivated. Scare yourself a bit. Yes, you read it right. Scaring yourself a bit need not be looking at out-of-this-world zombie apocalypse type of scare, but rather more realistic approaches like monetary concerns. Imagine yourself in a tight situation where bills pile up and your payment isn't due within the next fortnight. A little scare can be a good source of motivation. Thinking of the consequences can push people beyond their limits. You could harness this feeling even if there's no real monetary concern of any sort. It's like creating a hypothetical problem that can scare you to work better in the real world. It's purely psychological, but the results are quite real and they're good too. Have that stuck feeling? Have you ever imagined yourself glued to your chair? Try this one out and imagine yourself being held down, your back glued to your chair, your feet nailed to the floor, and your only option to escape is to finish your tasks and finish them well. It's a little too much for some, but there are just some people who need a little extra motivation than others.